Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about with home management is administrative things. If you think of your home as almost like a business, that there are administrative things that need to get done, whether that's you, whether it's a spouse, maybe it's an older child, whatever the dynamics are in your house. But there's things like balancing your accounts, making a budget, reviewing those expenses. If you have payroll, which might be allowance for us with our kids, that we do provide them with an allowance and they have certain expectations of things that they need to do. And so making sure that you create for yourself on a monthly basis, what are those things that I need to do on a monthly basis that maybe you put off. Sometimes we get around to all of those things as tax time comes up and we haven't really had a system that's kept us on track. And so now it's super stressful. And so that's important that you want to create monthly and weekly habits. So some of the things that I do on a weekly basis is that we have a family council. So on Sunday after church, we'll sit down as a family and we will go through our past week. If there's any challenges that we had there, how did the kids do with their jobs? And then also forward thinking, what are the different activities that we're going to be doing to make sure that everyone can get to where they want to be. So we go through that and then we have, hold people accountable for the things that they said that they were going to do that week. We also schedule in what we call family home evening, but it's a family night. We usually have done it Monday nights. And it's just a time set apart where we can gather together as a family and either have fun, whatever, if maybe there's a need that needs to be addressed, but that night is reserved for our family. And I think it really has created a connection and a closeness with us. And because especially as kids start getting really busy with different activities, it's important to have that time together with your family. We also have implemented what we call fit bucks. The fit is for our family, kind of a word that represents some things. But basically at the beginning of the year, we decided this is what our family represents. And then I created some ways that the kids could earn fit bucks. And then those fit bucks can be turned in for different things. And these were things not that they were already expected to do, but this was above and beyond some of the things that maybe they were expected to do, because they're supposed to clean their room each week. They're supposed to take care of their own clothes, their laundry, put their clothes away, do their own dishes. They have those responsibilities as being a part of a household. But then there were other things like maybe doing more skills training, because I know that this daughter has a really big goal with basketball. She loves it, and giving her a little bit more of an incentive to do those things that aren't so fun, the skills training, and so she can earn fit bucks. I put on their service. So if there's some things that kind of going out of your way to serve, then she can earn some fit bucks. And then there's just different things that they can earn that are tied to things that are interesting to them. Like my son and my daughter, they're trying to earn enough to go to one of the Jazz playoffs games because that's an interest to them. My youngest daughter could care less about the Jazz. So that's something that we do. And then also as far as systems, for bookkeeping, I use a system, it's called Wave. So it's the Wave app. I'll have it down in the Google Doc that is attached below. But that's what I use because it has business as well as personal. So it's really easy and it's free. So I've loved it. But also I know Mint is a really good one that we used before Wave. And so I would recommend that you have a budgeting app that will just pull in your bank accounts, and then you can go through and mark them and have a report at the end of the month and look at that. Where are we spending our money? Are we keeping within a budget? If I don't have a budget, you can set up a budget. And a budget really is just a spending plan. And this allows you to have freedom because you know where that money is set to go, right? Like it's giving you that freedom to not feel guilty about spending your money. You're just being very intentional and strategic about where you're wanting to spend that money. I know back, it's probably like 15 years ago, we had set this goal to get out of debt. And tax time came and we got this tax return. And my husband, he's like, well, what if I get my eye surgery? Because he is like super blind. And we're like, well, we could spend the money on that. But we had this goal of getting out of debt, and we both decided, well, let's put that tax return towards paying off those student loans. And they weren't a lot of money on the student loans, but let's do that. And so we put our money towards paying off those student loans. And it was interesting how we were blessed from that point on in our life. Like I started a business. We ended up, like it was thriving so much that we ended up building a custom made home and paid off that mortgage in 3 years. We were completely out of debt because we had decided that was something that was important to us, is that we wanted to get out of debt. And that has created so much freedom for us. So when it came time to buy certain things, like was it within the budget? No, it was more than we could do without. And so it can create freedom, especially in the long run. We're in a place where we are financially free. The business that I have with doTERRA creates this residual income that it creates time freedom and income freedom, money freedom. When challenges come up, unexpected things happen to us or other people that we love, we are able to step in and do that without the stress that comes from being in debt or not having income that can provide for our needs and our wants. So creating the weekly systems is really important. So that's weekly, finding out like what should I schedule, and I do it every Friday. So every Friday is set apart for doing my bookkeeping and budgeting, and then at the end of the month, so once a month at the end of the month, that's when I will close those out and look at a report and just see where we're at, right? So I encourage you to do this.